Hello everybody. Hello Wallace is delicious. Hello boy. Hello guys and welcome to another vlog, a little catch-up vlog, and we're starting this vlog not from home, instead, hello, from a little field a few miles away with Wally. Now if you're an OG Hello Horses follower, then you'll remember Wally. Wally's my oldest boy. Now, would you believe me if I said this is the third time I've tried to film this vlog, because I just blab so much. I feel like we need to see behind the camera. I keep blabbing, so I'm going to try and keep this short. I say I'm not at home. I am 2 miles away, where Wall is residing for the summer. Hello, my gorgeous boy. He is currently on loan with a friend of mine, and he lives currently here with another old pony of mine, Dora. He just needed a bit of a slower life, and that's exactly what they could offer him. Lots of love and cuddle. So he's living here with Laura and Bonnie. I say my friends. Bonnie is 11, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bon. Bonnie's 11 and much lighter than me. So it's so much nicer for him to carry her about the place. And lovely Laura and Bon are giving him the best, the very best of homes for as long as he decides he wants to. So as long as he is enjoying hacking about the place, he can stay with these guys. Now I'm gonna shoot home and finish off the rest of this little bit of vlog there and just enjoy saying hello to my boy. Saying hello to my boy for a little bit off camera, and I'll catch you at home. Right, I'm back home. And I'm gonna just talk to you as brief as possible about a little bit about me, Wally, where I've come from, where I want to go, but I'm going to try and keep it quick because, like I say, I have filmed this vlog 3 times now because I just talk and talk and talk, and I want you guys to stay around long enough and not get bored. So whilst you're a little bit wonky there, I'm just going to clean off these gorgeous girths, which I am going to show you later in the vlog, and tell you just a little bit about me as quick as I can. So I have always been horsey. I've had horses all my life. Apparently I was plonked on a horse at just 2 days old, thanks to my mum. Now she used to ride a lot. I just realised I'm talking very fast. That doesn't make it any quicker, I just don't blab as much. So mum used to be a lot more horsey. When we were younger, she doesn't actually ride anymore. She ended up having 5 of us and putting her energy into us rather than keeping up with her horse riding, and then she went into swimming and triathlons, and that is a whole other story. She is famous in her own world. So if you haven't heard of them already, check out the Blue Tits and see what my mum has created. It's absolutely amazing. Back to me. So I was a very horsey child, but I wasn't particularly classically trained, should you say. I was sent off. I was very fortunate. I had my own pony. I didn't do all the pony clubbing and kind of competitions and things as a child. I was just allowed to go off and explore the most amazing countryside that we live in down here in Pembrokeshire, and basically the only rule was to stay on and to be home by my curfew or by the time that I said I was going to be. And I followed those rules and I became an alright little rider. I was alright, but I say I wasn't particularly competitive minded. I was then home educated for my teenage years, or for my earlier teenage years, should I say, and I got into breeding and showing miniature horses. It was a part of my education to basically have my own stud farm. That was my choice. My parents said, that's fine, but it is all on you. So basically, if I wanted to breed, to show, sell, buy, I had to do all the dealings. And this is back when I was sort of like 12, 13, 14 years old. I did meet some incredible people, some incredible adults that were so patient with me, literally treated me like an adult and yeah, gave me all the respect. I did meet some awful ones too, which completely took advantage of me and my naivety at my age. But that's a whole other story, and it's kind of all led to the person I am today. So it's all fine. It's all lessons learned. It was then my later teenage years that I started working at race yards. And then I went through a few years of having racehorses, lovely, lovely racehorses, but that were definitely project horses, either free or very cheap. And then it was when I was 21, I decided I was going to treat myself to a nice horse. Not that they weren't nice horses, but do you know what I mean? I was like, right, I'm going and I'm going to get myself a nice sports horse. Cue Wally. So Wally, the lovely horse you have just met, he was kind of the beginning of Ella horses, I guess. He was the horse I got when I was 21, and that got me into competing and riding more competitively and wanting to better my riding. So it was all kind of thanks to him that I decided, say in my early 20s, to start having riding lessons, and I found a very patient riding instructor who worked her magic on us, and we went from jumping unaffiliated 70s at local shows all the way up to affiliated BS 105s and winning. We won quite a lot of money. And yeah, we then kind of decided that, or I decided that I didn't really want to jump any bigger. I never really had any aspirations to go up to 110s. I wasn't the best rider at 105s, I just had a very good horse in Wally. So I just thought, let's go eventing instead, because even 100 in eventing is some feat. I thought then, and I still think now. And we managed a few events, kind of just pre and post COVID, so pre and post lockdown. Obviously there was a season off in the middle there. Before my gorgeous Wally boy became lame, sadly, he then needed a year off, which then brought me up to basically current day horses. So I'm going to finish cleaning these and I will introduce you to all my current horses. So Hattie, who's currently got her food all over her face and no doubt will smudge it all on me. So after Wally injured himself, it was just kind of the start of the season, and I thought, instead of not riding all summer, I'm going to go buy myself a little summer project. I accidentally bought two. So I accidentally bought Hattie. I say accidentally. It's more of an accident that I kept two. But I went out and bought two. So I'm going to try and make this very long story short. There was a wanted ad on Facebook and I was basically looking for what I was looking for. I replied to some of the comments. One in particular, this guy got back to me and said that horse had sold. I thought no problem, kept looking around. Then I found Manny. I had agreed to buy Manny basically off the back of a few videos. He was from a local dealer and she hadn't advertised him yet. And basically offered her a low ball offer and just said I would be a quick and easy sale if she'd take a bit less. She agreed. Cue me agreeing to buy Manny. I hadn't actually met him at this point. That was on the Monday. On the Tuesday, this guy who I'd previously messaged and said, was this horse still available? Sent me a message and said, so that horse had gone, but he now has another horse, which has to be gone by the weekend. Basically make them an offer, they're desperate. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's not ideal, but go on, let's see some videos. He sent some videos, I fell in love and was like, now this was what I was looking for all along. Don't get me wrong, Manny was lovely and he was local and he was convenient, but this was what I was looking for. And she was a green 4-year-old. I felt a bit stuck then because I kind of messaged back and forth with this dealer for a good probably 48 hours and not being one to waste anyone's time. I thought, well, I've still got to buy him because I've said I would. But I want this one too. My mum, being a legend that she is, said, well, buy both because she's like that and get them both home and then just decide which one you prefer. I was like, great idea, Mum. Absolutely, let's do this. So on the Wednesday, I went and bought Manny. And then on the Friday, I went and picked up Hattie. Both were bought far too fast, but it's worked out fine. I'm a very spontaneous person, guys. I mean, all of these 4 horses will vouch for that for me. So yeah, we trek off to Leicester. I hadn't told any of my girlfriends about her because I knew they wouldn't approve. I didn't rightly approve. She was a huge, well, to me huge, 16.1 or 16.2. not even 4 yet, Irish sports horse that's just been backed. I don't know who I thought I was. I certainly wasn't the sort of person that would go and buy a just backed Irish sports horse. But hey, I'm trying to keep this brief. I had decided that Manny was going to be the one I was going to keep because he scared me slightly less. I mean, I'll get on and I'll tell his story a little bit quicker. We'll go into a little bit more detail in a minute. But then took Hattie to my riding instructor, who really liked her and just said, give this one a chance, basically give her the summer and we'll see. We'll either make something out of her or you'll just have a slightly more sellable horse on your hands. So I agreed. And then, yeah, fast forwards nearly 3 years and she's still here, obviously, and we have worked our way up to B100s. But she won her last one, which was very exciting. I didn't buy her with any wants, goals or dreams. I wasn't looking for anything necessarily when I bought her other than a bargain, which she was. And I'm delighted. I think that's all I can say on her now, really, without really going into too much detail, other than the fact that she did decide to buck me off for her 5-year-old year. That wasn't great, so that really scared me, but we managed to work through that, and she doesn't do that anymore, thankfully. But yeah, she's just so cool. We are trying to qualify for badminton grassroots. I tried really hard last year and we came so close in that we drew with the qualifying score, but we were further away from the optimum time than they were. It was a tough pill to swallow, but hey, everything happens for a reason. We are trying again, just currently trying to decide whether to try at 90 or 100, but I'll get onto that. Regardless of badminton, my kind of dream for this year is just to compete at Bicton 3-day at 100 level. We need one more MER. We are competing this Sunday, so fingers crossed we will hopefully get that MER, but hey, I am certainly one for knowing that nothing is guaranteed. And then the big dream could be to go bigger, but until I'm better, she could do it this season, but I'm still very much a greenhorn at this, and until I'm more confident, I don't want to even try, because I know that she'd pretty much try anything I asked her to do, and I do not want to put her in that position, or me. I don't want to hurt either of us, and I really don't want to scare or hurt her because she doesn't deserve that. So when I'm happier and confident, certainly at 100, and kind of wanting more of a thrill, if that day ever comes, it might never come, then we will consider it. But yeah, I mean, there's both instructors have kind of made noises about me going novice by the end of the season, but to be honest, in my heart will be the one that decides that, because as currently I'm still scared at 100 level, so I have no wants nor aspirations to go any higher. Right, I'm trying to wrap these up into 5 minutes per horse, and that was 6 minutes and 15 seconds. So on to the next one. Manny. Now, I have told the story on how I kind of came about buying him. I say it was very spontaneous, and I did buy him off a few videos, or agreed to buy him off a few videos. He is a quirky little soul, and initially he was the one that I was going to keep as the summer project. And my first thought was that I'd sell Hattie. Clearly they are both still here. To be honest, I thought about keeping him because I didn't think he was very sellable. He did manage to get me off twice fairly early on in our new relationship, and he was just a very nervous, flighty, tense horse, and to be honest, he kind of still is that horse. We have built more of a relationship, so I think he trusts me a lot more, but he's still quite flighty, nervous. Tense horse, aren't you, with so much talent. He's the best jumper I've ever owned and probably ever will own, but it's just trying to harness that talent and make the most of it whilst trying to keep him as happy as possible, because obviously that is always in the back of my mind that I want him to be happy too, and I don't fully know what makes him happy. He's very difficult to read as that little Manfred. But alas, he is still here. Now, a question I do get asked fairly often on social media is Manny for sale? Now, I have put him up 5 times since owning him. I put him up for sale 5 times in the last 3 years because really I should sell him. I have no need for him. Not that there's any need for any horse, but as in really in my life, I really don't need him. But he, like them all, I guess, has really kind of like ingrained himself in my life. More recent time I put him up, I did have a viewing booked, and it sounds so dramatic, but I was basically having panic attacks about it. I was getting heart palpitations, I wasn't sleeping, and then they cancelled the viewing the night before, and honestly it was like I felt like a new woman. I don't think I have it in me to sell him. I worry so much about him because he is so quirky, and I don't trust that not that I think I'm the best person for him, but I just kind of, at least when he's with me, then I know I have control over him or his life, if that makes sense. But someone else could get so much more of a tune out of him than I do, and I'm so aware of that, but also someone else could completely ruin him, and I have that in the back of my mind too. I did also find out that I was the 7th home in 2 years. He was broken as an 8-year-old. I found that out. Basically, I put him up on Facebook, and the guy who bought him and backed him originally reached out and just said that they knew him, and he backed him as an 8-year-old, and he was really difficult apparently, and he wouldn't turn right, I think he said, which doesn't surprise me. He also managed to throw off a few people in his viewings. But he was then sold to a man, and then I bought him off a woman who bought him off a woman from up the line somewhere. So yeah, basically I managed to work out that he'd had a lot of homes in quite a short amount of time. He's incredibly sweet, he's incredibly quiet. He's not particularly affectionate. He doesn't love you all up in his space, which is fair enough. I mean, I'm a very kissy cuddly person when it comes to my horses, so I do have to work quite hard on giving him his space. But basically whatever Manny wants, Manny gets, really, isn't it, boy? And yeah, I bounce back and forth all the time on whether he would be better suited with someone else, but I don't know where I would place him, to be honest, because he's an incredible jumper, but I don't know if he will be a show jumper. I don't know. Certainly, would he sometimes be forever? I don't know, because more recently with me, one day he just decided that he wasn't in the mood. He did have a loose tooth, so it could have been something to do with that. He does also have sideburns, so it could have been something to do with that, but I just feel like I couldn't sell him as a show jumper. I couldn't sell him as a safe hacker. He doesn't really hold his weight as a hunter, so anyways, probably he will just end up staying here, which is absolutely fine. Financially, I can't really afford it, but hey, we'll make it work, won't we, big man? My wants and goals and dreams with him are kind of non-existent. I say Manny just decides for me day by day. Some days we have an amazing session, and I'm like, yeah, we could event. I'd love to event him. And then other days he loses his head when I ask for canter, and I'm just like, oh, I couldn't spend £120 and drive in 4 hours for him to refuse to canter in a dressage test. As entertaining as it would be for YouTube, I just don't think certainly not at the moment, I'm not financially or morally able to do that. So yeah, that's kind of him at the moment. Also, he is having a bit of downtime. My plan with him, should I say, is not necessarily the dream, but my plan with him is I'm currently working on his flat work a little bit, kind of just working on my flat work too, learning to see if I can get any kind of tune out of him, because there's no harm done, is it, boy? And then when Hattie and Charlie are having their downtime in the winter, my plan is to jump him a little bit more then and kind of work towards the indoor season with BS and just see if we can maybe kind of jump a few discoveries. Is Newcomers the next one up? 105s anyway, I don't think it is Newcomers, that's 110, isn't it? Anyway, we'll just have a dabble with that. But certainly for now, he's having a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time off his jumping. And then when my other two are having their downtime, he can come slightly more to the forefront. But yeah, no dreams necessarily with him, just that he's happy and healthy, and yeah, that's about it with you, eh, fella? Hey, will you let me kiss you for the vlog? No. Right, gorgeous boy, moving on. Let's talk about Charlie. Okay, Charlie Bean, you let me kiss you for the vlog. Oh, he didn't let me kiss him when he came, but we've ground you down, haven't we, fella? Okay, Charlie Bean. Charlie is 6, or rising 6, he'll be 6 in July. And we're just dabbling in a bit of eventing, aren't we, fella? I did have a lesson the other day with a different instructor to usual, so my instructor was away, and she was like, how old is he? And I said, oh, he's nearly 6. And how long have I had him? And I said, 2 years. And she was like, well, what have you done with him? And I was like, well, not loads, I'm not going to lie. But plenty also. So he's recently just stepped up to 290. He is kindly sponsored by SE Solicitors for the season, so we're working towards the Cotswold Cup Championships, though we're not doing so well, are we, big boy? We're not doing so well, and I am slightly thinking maybe I should have just done it with Hattie and just used the sponsorship a little bit more, but also I'm going to stick to my plan because I do really want to get there with him, and I just really hope that we can maybe bring it across the next 3 events and hopefully qualify. But yeah, not loads more to say. I guess the reason I had him, I bought him as a unbacked 4-year-old just a few miles away from a local stud. I didn't actually meet him as a foal because I took some for sale pictures of him as a baby. He was very cute then, but he was to make a 148, and I wasn't looking to buy a foal, but I did really like him. And then a few years later, say 4 years later, we went and we were actually looking at a section D at the same stud for a friend, and Charlie was in the field with that horse, and I just said, "Oh, is he for sale?" And she said, "Yeah." And she didn't want a lot of money for him, and I just thought, there's a quick bit of money to be made. Cue laughter, because Ella doesn't sell horses apparently. He did, in my defence, he did injure himself quite early on in our relationship, where he got stuck in the horse box, got stuck in a hay net, and he managed to put his foot through the tack locker, and he tore through his coronet band and dented into his hoof. So I decided to keep him for that amount of time. It was about 9 months really for the dent to grow out, because I just didn't want it to cause any problems. Once it got down to the toe, I was a little bit nervous that it would split perhaps. I think I was probably making excuses. But whilst that was growing out, I did bring him back into work, and we got to some competitions, and yeah, I do just love him. He's just really good fun. He is a little bit too small for me. Not physically, like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder would he jump better if he didn't have me on him, but I don't really know, and I don't know. I'll ever find out. Should I sell him? Yes. Will I sell him? Maybe. Is he for sale? No. I think that's probably how the pattern will always go. I think if the right person came along and looked like the perfect fit for him and asked would I sell him, then I'd maybe consider it, but I don't want to sell him. I just make excuses to keep them all. Which leads me on to Nellie. Let's go talk about Nellie. I've just filmed all of this, and the audio stopped working halfway through. My receiver seems to have frozen, so I'm going to try and do it all again, like I haven't just done it. But last and most certainly not least, we have Nellie, my little 4-year-old. Project fund the projects. Yes, guys, she's still here. You may have seen me introduce her as my unseen horse that I bought from Thanks, Nels. Right. You may have seen about a year ago I bought a horse unseen from Ireland, and it was little Nell stood behind me in all her glory. You should show me your front end, honey. Anyways, so yeah, last July I went and spontaneously bought this little 3-year-old Irish pony. I just seen a video of her jumping with amazing talent, and I just thought, that's a bit of me. She wasn't a lot of money, and I just thought, yeah, I'll make a bit of money on that, ironically. Yes, she's still here, because that is what I'm like. And yes, she has got a new owner, kind of, technically, don't judge me. It is an owner of convenience. It is my niece. So, with Wally being gone for the summer, and yeah, me not particularly liking owning, me not particularly enjoying owning, can't get my words out. I don't particularly enjoy owning odd numbers of horses. Don't particularly enjoy owning odd numbers of horses because I don't like to leave them alone, and quite often I go competing or to lessons with 2 at a time, which would have left me with 1 at home. So I was looking to sell Nels earlier this year, and I was a big brave girl, and I did answer a few sales inquiry messages. She even had a viewing booked. But then this kind of opportunity, I guess, for Wall to go live with Laura and Bonnie came up, and it was too good not to pursue, because it's just too convenient for Wells and for the girls, that I then thought, right, so if I sell Nellie, will I go buy myself that 2-year-old, which I kind of want, Basically would love a 2-year-old, 16-hand-ish, or to make 16-hand-ish, well-bred horse to come through the ranks again, or a pony for my niece. And yeah, I was having a little shop around and I just couldn't believe the prices. I couldn't believe the prices. So if I had told her, to the person that was booked for a viewing, like I couldn't have afforded to replace her. Certainly not like a guaranteed nice little horse as well. Obviously when you buy new horses, you buy a whole new can of worms, or you can do. And you really know what you're getting, and they can have behavioural issues, health issues. I mean, I know it can be with any horse, but like she was already so settled here that I just thought, basically I already have a lovely little horse that my niece can ride that wants me to scratch her bum. And my niece is a lovely little rider, and she, you know, could be a little bit small for her currently, but she could grow into her if they get on. Nellie, I can't believe he's using me as a bum scratching post. But yeah, we just kind of figured out, or we worked out, that we'd give it a try anyway. So certainly meant that I didn't have to go and buy anything too sharpish to keep my horse at home company. And I didn't know, like I still don't know necessarily, how long Wall will be with Laura and Bonnie. Basically, for as long as he is comfortable and as long as they're happy, he is welcome to stay there. And then when his riding days are done, he can come back to me. But he's an older boy. I didn't know if that was going to be 2 months, 6 months, or 6 years. I honestly, you don't know, do you? So I just was a teeny bit worried that I'd go out and buy another horse and then have Wally back, and then again kind of not need that 5th. So certainly whilst Wall isn't here and whilst my niece is interested, Nellie stays, which is lovely because I thoroughly enjoy having her about the place. Financially it's not great, although my brother is going to help me pay for some bits, isn't he? Yeah, she doesn't care. I can't believe she's just showing you her bum for this, guys. But yeah, whilst that is the most convenient thing to happen, that is what is happening. So yes, guys, I'm keeping another project, certainly for now anyway, maybe not forever. But yeah, Nellie has a new owner, but she stays. I think that's probably about enough of me. You rubbing on me waffling on about my horses. Let me know if I've missed anything. I've tried to keep this short, which does mean probably missing out a few little important details here and there, which I'll probably notice when I'm editing. But if you've got any questions on that specifically, do let me know. I also have some questions that some of you guys asked over on Instagram, which I will answer at the end of this vlog. Before that though, you will see I'm wearing a fully branded gilet, kindly sent by Berney Bros, with the most exciting box of goodies that recently arrived. It's my first Ella Horses branded bit of kit. So thank you so much, guys. On that note, let's go see my new saddles. So guys, the time has come to show you my new saddles, kindly gifted to me for the season by Berney Bros. They haven't sent me just one, but they've in fact sent me 2 saddles to use for the next 6 months. And I'm going to show you them both now, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, because actually there's quite a few similarities about how they've been made. Get a load of that. Get a load of this beauty. And the stirrup leathers. So I thought about taking the stirrup leathers off to show you, or the stirrups off to show you the saddle. But I've left them on because I say they've kindly sent those 2, and they too are gorgeous. It's all absolutely gorgeous. The leather is superior. My tack room currently smells amazing. It smells like a tack shop, but like the best quality tack shop. And it is mostly, certainly I'd say 50% now, Berney Bros leather. This is the Grand Prix Olympic event style saddle, and they've also sent me the Grand Prix dressage. Get a load of this. So this saddle is going back at the end of the season, supposedly. Although I already am a little bit in love, and I feel like I'm somehow going to have to try and save money as the summer goes on to keep this baby with me forever. Isn't she just gorgeous? Right, so there are quite a few similarities across the two saddles. So I'm going to show you a few shots of me riding whilst I reel off a few little details about them. So both saddles are made using the most premium French calfskin leather. It is so soft and so supple. I've owned these saddles now for just over a week and they both just feel like home already. They're both so comfy and so grippy, yet so soft. It's just magical. So both saddles are built on laminated beechwood spring trees and they both have orthopedic memory foam seats. Now guys, when I say they're comfortable, I mean they are so comfortable. They are just like sitting on air. So as well as being really comfortable, they also act as a shock absorber by absorbing the impact of the rider's movement. So it's a win-win. They're both incredibly comfy and there is purpose to it. They have wool-flocked panels which spreads the weight of impact over a bigger surface area and allows the horse to use themselves to the fullest. The wool for locking also retains the spring and absorbance over time and moulds to the shape of the horse. So this is more specific to the jump saddle, but it has a square cantle which gives the rider more freedom when jumping, and a combination of knee blocks with the cushioned knee pads at the front and the thigh blocks at the back, giving the rider a definite and secure leg position. The knee blocks apply gentle pressure above to aid and support the rider in a more forward seat, and the thigh blocks are positioned behind the leg, allowing plenty of scope for the lower leg to move when jumping. Also, the girth straps are made with strong buffalo hide leather, and when I say that they are durable, I mean it. And then with the dressage saddle, it has the sloped knee blocks which aid to support the rider by reinforcing their seat and leg position, but allowing a full use of their lower leg. So there we have it. A baby on each hip. Thank you so much to Berney Bros for not sending just the one saddle, but sending the two saddles to support us through the rest of the season. Right, whilst I just put my babies away, I'll tell you really quickly about the fitting process. So it was a really easy process. I sent the drawings over to Berney Bros with a little bit of information about the horse. They then made the saddles to fit, and then I've just had them checked with my local saddler to make sure they fit, which they do. They do not move, and the flocking just needs to settle a little bit, but once that has settled, we'll check them again to see if any adjustments need to be made. And voila, there's your saddles all the way over the St George's Channel, I was going to say, the Irish Sea. Right, they did not just send me saddles because they are the most incredible people to work with. Let me talk you through a few other little bits that they sent me. Sorry, I appreciate I'm off camera here. I was just wrapping up my babies. Right. So to go with those gorgeous saddles, they have sent me these gorgeous girths, which now have been worn. Little spoiler alert, or truth, should I say. I filmed a whole unboxing of all of this stuff, and I've lost it. It was like 20 minutes long, so probably for the best that I've lost it, because I didn't want to bore you guys with anything for that long. But yeah, I'm absolutely gutted. So I say not one but two of these most beautiful girths that now just need a quick wipe over after being used today. These two are made with the orthopedic memory foam. They are cut to allow shoulder movement. Woo! They've got these D-rings so that you can attach any martingales, breastplates, etc. to them. They have these stainless steel buckles and they have triple elastic, so they are less elasticated. Not that I can show you because it is some strong elastic, but it's actually quite nice because I don't like things to be like too stretchy because then you get worried about over tightening, but it's just enough so that when you are tightening the girth, it's just got a nice spring to it. So yeah, one of each colour. They are absolutely beautiful. The horses seem to go beautifully in them, and you can tuck away your bits here. And I do find with close contact saddles, obviously you've got to reach down to do all of the adjustments, which can be really annoying, but the straps do fit so nicely into these here. It's not too fiddly, which I really like. Sorry, Berney Bros. I promise I am taking great care of these. On the theme of them not sending me just one, but sending me in fact 2, so one brown, one black. These absolutely gorgeous padded bridles. They're just stunning. So I've had this one now for a few months and it is just worn and got nicer and nicer and nicer, and then the black one is brand new to me, but they still start so comfortable. So these also have the orthopedic headstores, and then on this noseband they also have the orthopedic foam in the nosebands too. They come with a choice of 3 nosebands. So we've got the flash here, we've got the grackle, and then they also come with a plain cavesson, so you can literally put on whichever one suits you and your horse the best. And I say I've had this one a little bit longer now and it's been worn and cleaned and it's just getting softer and nicer as time goes on, like any leatherwork does. But truly from day one they are a gorgeous fit, and then they just get softer and softer and softer. Now I'm trying to take this all apart because the next thing I'm going to show you is this beautiful hunter breastplate. It is the most gorgeous leather, and it is really adjustable, and it has the clip at the bottom here so it can be attached to my girths. I also love that they stamp all their leather with their gorgeous logo. So yeah, that has got the white stitching which matches the bridle, which I've now put down. Oh, it's on my arm. It's attached to the breastplate. But yeah, it's got this white stitching throughout, which I think is super, super smart. And it is also made with bridal leather, so premium bridal leather. Again, you can just tell it's absolutely gorgeous quality. Now, the head collar. So I asked them to surprise me on the colour of the padded head collar. So you can choose the colour. I will put the colours up on the screen now, but you can choose the colour, and they asked me what colour did I want. Now I'm a brown girly generally, like I love brown leather. I'm not really one for making a statement. I quite like to, as much as you wouldn't believe it as I post all over Instagram, I quite like to hide away a little bit when it comes to sort of standing out. However, they did send it to me in green. I said for them to surprise me. I said I couldn't decide, and if not brown, surprise me. And they have gone for this gorgeous green. Oh no, Manny, come back. Hang on, let me just put Manny back in the stable. I do also have my OG Berney Bros leather head collars. Now this head collar is 11 years old. It was Wally's, and I keep the leather clean, but I'm not like the most on top of my cleaning and bits, but it's just lasted and lasted and lasted. And like I said about the bridle, the more you wear it, the softer it's getting. It's just a fully soft, beautiful leather. So if you're not a padded person, then they do also have this plain gorgeous halter that I've had for 11 years now. I have got another one of these too because I loved it so much. I went and bought another one, just hiding in the back of the tack room there. But yeah, thank you Berney Bros, as well as sending me all those gorgeous leather bits. They've also sent me this leather fet. Now I saw this on their TikTok a while ago, and I was slightly obsessed with it, so I was very excited when I heard that this was also coming over. It smells amazing. It's bright yellow, but it leaves your leather like, you know when you clean your leather and it goes darker and it just looks like more hydrated. That is what it does to everything. So I've been slightly obsessed since this has arrived, cleaning all my leather, all the Berney Bros bits that have arrived, plus everything I already had. Now excuse the mess behind me. I am going to jump back to I'm going to film now the start of this vlog whilst cleaning a little bit of tack, because 2 birds, 1 stone and all that. And I will see you at the end to say my bye-byes. Right guys, as I said, this was the 3rd time I've tried to film this vlog, and I think I have probably made it too long again, but it is what it is. I honestly don't think I could cut it down any more than that. I so hope that you are still here. I do have a few questions on my phone that you guys asked over on Instagram, which I'm going to try to answer fairly quickly. Okay, how many horses do you have altogether? I'm fairly new here. So I've answered that question. I have 5 horses currently. Nellie, Charlie, Hattie, Manny and Wally. So I've just told you a little bit all about those. What camera do you use to vlog, please? So I use a Sony, I think, I'm looking at you as if you're going to know. Let me see. Yes, ZV-1F. Sony ZV-1F. We did already have the camera. We have like a camera kind of family. We're all in media in some way or another. So we did already have the camera running around the farm, which is obviously very nice, as well as these mics and a few other bits of camera equipment. So that answers that one, hopefully. What process do you follow getting them from starting to where you are now? I wish I'd vlogged a little bit more of both Charlie and Nellie's starting process, but to be honest, well, Charlie was pre-vlogging, but Nellie wasn't. I have no excuse other than I'm just a little bit scared to share, guys, because I'm scared of hate. I'm scared of people telling me I'm doing it wrong. I'm scared of doing it wrong and then accidentally sharing that and perhaps influencing someone to do it wrong. I won't be able to answer this question right here, right now, other than it's just very varied. I like to give my young horses a really varied life, from loads of groundwork to just, yeah, kind of going forwards 2 steps, back a step, forwards 2 steps, back a step. So I try not to rush them too much. They will be backed in a week when it comes to the backing process, but like the run up to that and the kind of bringing them on takes me ages. I mean, about a year, to be honest. I'd say both of these, it probably has taken me about a year. Maybe I will do like I don't know, I was going to say a whole vlog on that, but to be honest, it would almost end up being, I'd have to buy another one to share it. I'm not going to do that because I'll end up not selling it. Annoyingly as well, I've lost a huge chunk of my Nellie training process because it was all on my phone and I broke my phone and lost it all because I hadn't backed it up. So that was really sad. Obviously, it's not an iPhone. I don't have a cloud. There is an access to a cloud. I just don't use the Android version. But yeah, I'm really sorry that I can't answer that question in much more detail right now. If distance wasn't an issue, where would you like to visit with the ponies? I love Ireland. I love Ireland. The distance isn't an issue. I actually live closer to Ireland than I live England, but it's very expensive to take them on the ferries. Yeah, I don't get out much, guys. I spend a lot of the time here on the farm. So I don't really know. I say that. I obviously get out nearly every weekend to events around the Cotswolds, Wiltshire, Somerset kind of area. Those are all the ones I class as my local. We are off to Devon next week, which is very exciting, to ride the Dartmoor. Yeah, it'd be nice to visit the friends down in Cornwall. That'd be lovely. It would be amazing to go riding around Scotland, but I'm just kind of thinking further apart things. I probably, if I had to give you one, it would be Ireland. I'd like to take them back to Ireland. I don't even rightly know why. I just love it there. How do I stay motivated? I don't know really, other than I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. This is my life and I love it. I don't... sometimes I get like a bit creatively overwhelmed, I guess. But as far as like motivated with the horses, they are my absolutely everything, these horses. I don't find them a chore. I find things like tack cleaning a chore, but I don't find the horses a chore. I don't think ever. Like, I'm mildly addicted to these horses, I have to be honest. And I think like if something physically happened that stopped me from seeing them, mentally, I think I'd fall apart a little bit. So I don't think I find motivation much of a problem, I say, as far as like the riding and the training and the actual fun side of owning horses. When it comes to finishing my stables and cleaning my tack, that's where I lack motivation. And I currently have half painted stables and some dirty tack, so I haven't got the answer for that because clearly I'm not that motivated. Have I got a demo of how to teach you mountain block lining up? I do. I will link it in the description below. There is a whole, I guess it's not really a vlog, but a whole YouTube video of how I trained Nellie to sidle up to the mountain block. Do you have any rules for when you move horses up the levels and eventing? Probably, it's not like a rule, well, I guess it could be. Don't move up until it's boring. That's generally it. So if you kind of almost a bit underwhelmed or bored by the height that you're at, then you could probably start thinking about moving up. I think that's probably what my answer to that would be. I certainly try not to. And there's no shame in going back down the levels. Also, I feel like if you find that it was too much, or that particular venue was good for that level, but the next one you're going to builds big or whatever, then you don't have to, once you've gone up, it doesn't mean that's it. You can go up and down, round and round, like horses for courses, and say if you have a confidence knock at one, or you feel like maybe you did go up too quickly, just back down. Sorry, I keep looking over there because I'm looking at my horses whilst I'm thinking that. So I say I've just stepped Charlie up to 90. I was happy with his 90. I was comfortable with him at that height, and I intend to event him at 90 next. If for whatever reason I felt like it wasn't the right decision on that occasion, then I would have no worries. I'm taking him back to 80 for the next event. How am I so confident with your riding? I don't know. Some days I guess I feel more confident than others, but a lot of that I feel like is worked around my side. So about you girlies, but like some days I feel like I could take on the world, and some days I feel like I'm no good at anything, and who do I think I am doing what I do in the first place? But I feel like I've done a lot of riding in my time, and actually I think I stay within my comfort zones a fair bit. Like, I haven't got any pushy instructors or any pushy parents or any friends that I'm trying to keep up with, sort of thing. Like, we all just support each other, and we all kind of move at our own comfortable pace. I think that really helps. That I've never had probably an instructor or parent mostly that have pushed me beyond my comfort zones. Therefore, I've always, I don't think cocky is the right word, but I've always been fairly comfortable in my bubble. So I've had some nasty falls and some hard horses. And there obviously was the time with Hattie, I touched on it a bit earlier, where she was bucking me off and she did scare me. And my lovely instructor and my girlfriends helped me through that. And took it back again to things that we were comfortable with, didn't push myself or her beyond what I thought we were capable of, and I think that just helped us grow our confidence. Now, I think there was one more question, but I may have lost it. I thought I screenshot it again. Oh, I remember it. It was, are any of my horses barefoot? So Nellie is currently barefoot. Annoyingly, it's a lovely place where we live, but there's the bridle paths and the off-road lanes are all gravelled around here, which is annoying. But we have to kind of hack quite a long way, like half a mile even, to get to the closest tarmac. And certainly this time of year, the roads are crazy busy because we've got boat trips down where we live. So it is kind of one of those where it's like I'm a shoe girl, I'm a shoe girly. I have a great farrier, I have a great relationship with my farrier. I've always shod my horses where I've wanted to crack on with said horse, so I'm not constantly worrying about their feet and how much I can do with them. I ride them an awful lot. I do a lot with my horses. I'm fully open-minded to barefoot, but the horse, certainly stud-wise, has to decide that for me. If I feel like that horse needs studs for competing, then I will put shoes on. Like, I'm not adverse to putting shoes on, and I am open-minded, I say, to all sorts. But currently for me and my horses and the workload and where I live, I like putting shoes on my horses. So Nellie is currently barefoot, and it is annoying trying to get her out hacking because I have to do a lot of in-hand walking where she's picking her way over the gravel, and I really don't want her off with a bruise or an abscess. Where I can, obviously, I ride her in the school and on the farm, and that's all great. But if I want to take it off the farm, then it is basically gravel in all directions for a couple of miles. Well, so we can get to tarmac in half a mile in one direction, but this time of year, that road isn't really safe to ride on, so it really limits our hacking. And I would love to put shoes on her already, but I'm trying to keep it barefoot for as long as possible for cost, and just generally I do like it. And I liked, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And currently she is able to go about the place barefoot. So that's why she is barefoot, but all the others are shod. Manny is only shod in front. He's barefoot behind. He has amazing feet, but he does need leather pads in front. So that's where we're at with him, which answers all the questions, which hopefully this vlog will come in under an hour. I'm hoping, because the last 2 times I filmed it, it did not. Well, I say the first time I filmed it, I lost it all. But the last time I filmed it, it was well over an hour, and I thought that's just not okay. No one's going to watch it. So fingers crossed this one is an hour. If you enjoyed this, getting to know me a little bit more, please comment, like and subscribe, because it all helps. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, if I've missed anything, please write it in the comments below. If you've got any questions, please write it in the comments below. I do reply to all my comments. Thank you so much for watching. I have got 2 videos here that I think you may enjoy if you enjoy this one, and I hope to see you next time.